All right, just to confirm for my listeners, I got MCZ on the phone right now. Is that you, sir?
Yes, you done know.
This guy, as much as we go way, way back, I have to say his moves that have been made in the last maybe year and a half are unbelievable. And I want to say kudos to you for all you've done, and thank you for the last year and a half, Mr. Z.
Oh man, mad respect. I've been watching you too as well, and I can say that you've been making some really good interview moves. I like it. So we're watching each other, we're noticing it, and that's a good thing.
It's all I can contribute at this point. I can't keep up with you guys. That was the one thing I got to say. Like I looked at it, I was like, maybe I could reassert myself into the MC pool. Let's see what's going on out there. And I heard all you guys. I'm like, yeah, I think I'll stay back here. But it's a blessing to see what you and A2 and White Wolf and the whole Create D&B family. Tell me about all the moves. I don't want to miss anything out. So in the last year and a half, how many subgroups are you a part of now, and what are you guys doing?
For Create D&B, you're talking?
Well, you have Create D&B. You have, I think you're...
Okay. So I've been able to, it's Create D&B the fullest right now. Right now we've been trying to do takeovers, trying to do where we come in and, we could do radio at any radio place. We're trying to push and just push the music however we can right now. And we're trying to involve as many people as we can. Hence the reason why when you see the radio show, you'll have some days we'll have a guest, some days we don't. When we have a guest, we always bring a different style of guest out. So, we've had Groves on, and then we've had Joey Mojo the next month on, and it's like day and night of sounds of drum and bass there. So right now we're focusing on that. I'm focusing on that. I'm also focusing on a lot of collaborations out in the UK.
Yeah.
So not only am I pushing for Create D&B right now, but I'm just pushing for my own brand as well. But with that comes Create D&B. So, when I go and do a show anywhere else, I'm representing Create D&B and Create D&B in the 6, which is our show. And that's the main focal right now, is to just link with as many European crews and anybody who's part of the Create D&B team. Actually, that's how I was able to get a booking out in UK, was through one of the newest members, Mark Chant. He's an MC and he's a manager. So he's managing the Create D&B, and he's an MC for Create D&B. And just linking up with all these people that are joining brand new or have been on it for years, and now trying to spread our sound, globally. I think what's going to happen is I'll go over there, and then next year I'll bring the crew with me. That's the plan. My plan is never to just go there, make the link, and go back all by myself. I want to make the link with these Create D&B guys, and then go back with the crew. In fact, we're trying to plan for them to come out here. So maybe about 5 or 6 of them to come out here, do a show, connect with all the Canadians, and then go back, right? So right now, there's a lot going on for me. Actually, it's not just that. I have the collaboration with Stars and Giza right now, which is huge. And, I just released, it's crazy because I just released a mix with Blackley, probably about 3 months ago, 2 months ago, something like that. I can't remember because I'm doing so much, but it was very recent. And then, this year, release a brand new mix with Stars and Giza, mixed by DJ Construct from USA Accelerated in LA. It's been, ever since we started talking about the mix, been crazy. I mean, what happened with me and Stars and Giza is I went to UK in 2017 and I did a show with them. I got booked with them and didn't even know who they were, but we linked up and they invited me to the rest of their shows on the weekend. So I did that, and I went home and I sent a message. I said, "We gotta make music, man." That was just awesome. And we did "Weed Is From the Earth," which is the hip hop song they wanted me on. And from that song on, we've been planning music, the mix, linking up, and pushing our sounds globally, really. So we've done the mix, and we've actually planned the next mix. So we're actually planning a next mix. So when we hand out this mix, you're going to get like a mini flyer, let's say, of coming soon of our next mix. Like, we want to keep the series going. Maybe not the same name, but having us three with a DJ and pushing the drum and bass sound globally, right? So there's that. For music, let's say there's that. There's the Blackley mix.
Well, hold on, Zach. I want to ask you about what you were just talking about, because I want to be clear to the listeners what it is you're releasing. If I'm not mistaken, you actually have an album where you've done single tracks where it is structured more like a hip-hop album rather than a mix. Is that safe in saying?
Yeah, so what's happening is with Stars and Diza, the mix is a drum and bass. It's a 30 or 45-minute mix of just drum and bass, exclusive tunes, new tunes, and us rhyming over it. But I also have 3 EPs coming out this year. Hopefully this year I get it out with Create DMB, and it'll lead up to a full album. The three EPs split up into 3, leading up to a full drum and bass album. But on the side, I have a mixtape of multi-genre music. Well, not multi-genre, pretty much it's just trap, grime, and hip hop. So I have that being made as well, and I'm a couple, maybe 3 or 4 tracks away from finishing that, and that is actually going to be released by I Smash House from JD, MC JD. He would be down to release that. So, the plan with the CD was I was going to make one big album and just release it. Now we're looking at it more feasible to split it up into EPs and have a mixtape instead of having it all on one with all sounds, the drum and bass, and the multi-genre music, right? So I'm focusing on both. And as you know, I've already, put one of my songs from the multi-genre mixtape. It's called Mumble Rappers Suck. And that's the first song that I've put up online of that mixtape. And I'm going to be calling it, this actually came from White Wolf when he was Troubles back in the day. He gave me an idea for a mix name called Vehicular Mike Slaughter. So if anybody out there knows, you can go to jail for vehicular manslaughter. So we just we kind of played on the words there and switched it around, and I've kept that in the back of my head ever since I wanted to make music. And now I'm going to make my first mixtape, and that's going to be the one.
You know what it makes me think of is maybe there should be a Z Smashingtons. I'm sure.
Smashingtons is something we're going to be branding eventually, I think.
I bet you will.
It's such a catchy name. It's such a catchy name, and people just love it. And everyone around the world's making their own independence word to go with it. So it just shows that it worked. And I told Trupa, listen, when I've done some of my projects here and I have some time to think, we're going to sit down and figure out how we're going to brand this, bro. Because, maybe he can do a series of mixes where it's Smashington or something, But yeah, that's something that me and him were talking about for sure.
Let's talk. Hold on. I just want to go into Blackley for a second, because I know you've built a strong relationship with him, and as a result of that, you've started this Car Bars kind of part 2 happening overseas. Can you take us through on how that started and where it's going to go?
Yeah. So what happened was Car Bars was from Bellyman, actually.
Oh, sorry, Bellyman.
Bellyman, yeah. So because I'm going to say this, because of everything I've done with Blackley, it's helped me out with people like Bellyman and other people that see my progress. So Blackley's always a big key point in the things that I'm doing. But that was actually Bellyman reaching out to me. I met Bellyman when I went to that UK gig I was telling you guys about when I met Stars and Diza. I met Bellyman that time and just kept a good conversation with him. And when he released New Zealand as part 1, episode 1, 2019 or 2000, might have been the ending of last year. It was episode 1 of International Car Bars. Once that went up, within a week, he messaged me to do Canadian Car Bars. So I've actually messaged him about 2 weeks ago to confirm that we can do Car Bars Part 2. So I don't know when that's going to be. I think I'm going to set it up before I go away to UK. And I go to UK in April. UK and Holland in April.
Nice.
So I think I'm going to get that set up before I go away, so we can get some more promo online and get a lot of the guys' faces known, you know what I mean? For when I go out there, maybe hear something about it, you know what I mean? I know when I released the first one, it was crazy response. Crazy response. Probably the best response of any music I've ever put online. But that's mainly because Bellyman has such a big reach. So it was really cool that he was able to do that for us and allowing us to do it again. But the second one, I'm changing it. I'm going to have myself, obviously, with a buckload of new MCs that weren't on the first one.
Yeah, it's fun.
So, yeah,
The concept itself is really interesting. So I think it's not just his reach, but the amount of talent you had in that car, and it wasn't just a gimmick. It was really skilled MCing. So,
yeah.
Bravo.
I agree.
And I hope part 2 is just as strong. I'm sure it will be.
It will for sure. I believe it will.
Okay, so far we've got you down for a trip to the UK. We're going out to Holland, and you've got 3 EPs and an album dropping in 2019. Could we see any tours? Do we see you going nationwide at all this year?
Nationwide is hard to do. I find I'm liked a lot more in the UK, in England, and in Belgium and like Europe. I find Europe is just, I got bigger reach out there. For me to go to anywhere in Canada, a lot of the guys, Canada's not really keen on MCs. So I've had a couple offers to go out west, but they never really fell through. It's good to hear that I get offers and people do want me, but I haven't played out west yet. So it's something I definitely 100% would like to do, but I'm not really focusing on it until someone kind of approaches me about it. Whereas like I've tried to do some things out west and get DJs and myself out there, and it never falls through. So I really focus on Europe, and this year's my biggest year. Besides going to Belgium in 2013, 14, 15, those years that I used to go for City Flow, besides those years, this year is going to be my biggest year in a long time. Like I said, I got UK, so when I land in UK, the next day I play at a local event in a smaller town, South End, as a headliner. So hey, can't get upset with that. I love that, right? So a headliner in a small town on my first show, April 13th. And then the Thursday after that, I'm in UK still, which I'm going to be staying with Stars and Visa, Mark Chant, and hopefully I'll meet up with Funsta, and we can, I'll be working when I'm there. So it's not just, okay, I do a show on Saturday and I party for 4 days until I do the show. No, I'm going to be working, doing radio, writing lyrics, recording multiple videos, because I'm not going to be there for a long time and I don't go out enough. So I contacted a few people I made music with, and we're going to be shooting videos as well. So it's a huge trip, a big working trip, which is really good for me to network as I'm, going to be releasing music this year. So the main reason I got out to that trip was my Buffalo crew that moved out to Holland. They don't throw parties in Buffalo anymore. They throw parties in Holland. I haven't been able to do a show yet, but he messaged me about 4:20 in Amsterdam, and I'm a big weed guy. I love marijuana. Don't drink, don't do drugs anymore. I smoke weed and eat it and concentrate it and all that stuff, but I don't, that's why when he messaged me, I was really, really happy for that. So I was able to contact a few of my weed drum and bass buddies like Joey Mojo and Stars and D's, and I got them to contact the promoter contact them, and sure enough, they're on that show with me. So the main reason was I got the booking in Amsterdam, and I just, I said, maybe I'll go a week early. Turns out I can do the show on the 13th, and on the 18th, the Thursday, is Innovation All Night Street Party on Easter Thursday. So I'm really happy about that. I mean, nobody works the next day in England, so it's going to be a banger. And it's really funny that I got booked at that, because I got booked at that 2 years ago with Stars and Visa on that UK trip. I was telling you I met them. I met them at the all-night street party that I was booked at. So this is, it's really, really, really cool. Really, really very cool. And the best thing about it is once I got I did get on Innovation in the Sun, which is huge. Probably the biggest booking I've ever done, besides some of the stuff I've done for City Flow. But I would say the biggest booking I've ever got is Innovation in the Sun main room. Right at the bottom in the corner is the last booked MC. I love it.
I saw your name. I was so proud for you. I was
and I saw that. You know how it's so funny how I got that too, and I don't mind telling the story how I got it, because it's sometimes all by chance. Sometimes we get on shows. Obviously, they know about me. I met Modified Motion many years ago, and he was one of the guys I needed to speak to for this. So I've known him for years. I mean, I did shows with him and the business crew back in the day at Arnold and other places like that. So when I went out to Innovation LA last year, I met him again, shoot the shit with him, got to do a set on the boat cruise with him, and then told him, we got to link up, man. Anytime, you want to you want to come out to Canada, maybe I'll come out to you. Didn't know really that he was the one that kind of helps out on Innovation. And it's funny because I got a message from a buddy who I know online asking if he's going to see me in A2 this year at Innovation. I said, you're going to see us only if we get booked. Turns out, he's like, oh, they said they'll book you because they know you. They unfortunately, they really didn't know who A2 was. And it wasn't like I couldn't get him on it or anything. It was just when I spoke to Modified Motion, he's like, wow, you're lucky you're messaging me. I'm finishing the lineup right now. It was fluke in a sense of the timing. I was able to have a conversation with them. But I'm, very cheesed that A2 couldn't get on it, but it was more so like I couldn't do anything about that. You know what I mean? Like I pushed for it, and it was something it wasn't feasible on their end. But I'm told, if A2 comes with me, there'll be a chance for him to spit a few bars. So I'm pretty sure he's going to be rolling with me and representing with me out there. I'm pretty sure that's what he wants to do, because I spoke to him last week and told him, just come. I mean, these guys, some of the guys there that are promoters are asking about him anyways. So it's kind of like A2 went out there last year and made a little bit of a name for himself. And then it just by chance I was able to, get on that. So very, very big for me, at least. Jeez, I couldn't.
Well, I can confirm for you that I did interview A2 a few days ago, and he said he's going to England to MC with Innovation. So
there you go.
100% he will be there.
Sick.
I want to ask
That's
you,
awesome.
I'm excited for you guys. I can't wait to see it. I want to see videos, lots of Facebook Lives, but I also want to see real videos if possible, not just ones from people's pockets, but ones that were taken by professional crew. Like when Caddy went out there last time, I remember he was on Drum and Bass Arena, and I remember watching him from the library and just being so proud that someone from Toronto was on that feed. And I would love to see the same happen with guys of your talent. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I spoke to Rough Tempo. I actually went on Rough Tempo with A2, Logan D, Sick Note, and J-Line. What year was it? I don't know what year it was. Maybe 5 years ago. We were like, it was just, Rough Tempo was still kind of new at that time. I messaged Scoundrel, the guy who runs it, and told him I'm coming out. And they're going to do a little, organize a takeover and have me on it. So I'll be on Rough Tempo when I'm in England. I'm definitely going to be doing a Create D&D show. But right now, that's all I can confirm about live streams and videos like that. I did shoot a music video at Groove Rider in Cambridge. So when Groove Rider came to Cambridge last month, I got Will to come with me, shoot part of a music video, and then after Create D&D, I think the last one we did, last Create D&D we did, we shot a music video, shot the other half to the music video, and I think we're going to shoot the last one this weekend, the last part of the scenes, and finalize it. And that's a solo track of mine called Still Here, and it's produced by Just Mayhem out in Calgary. I think that's where he is, Calgary. So
Nice.
kept that one all Canadian on that one, you know.
I love it. I love the all Canadian content.
Yeah, man.
Who or what would you say was your highlight for 2018? The highlight of your musical career of 2018?
Honestly, there was a few. I would say releasing my first music video. I released Rejected, I think, right at the end. Either Rejected, I don't know. Oh, sorry. I'm going to say my first music video I ever released, which was, the song I did with Brucko, Crowd Pleaser. Just to see that I finally made it. Not made it like made it like I'm famous. I made it. No, finally made it like I made an actual video. Made a video. That's what I mean. Like finally made a video. Made it onto a screen and saw myself like I watch all of my idols. It really, really gave me that a really big drive to just push on and make more. You know, I released that. And I played at Innovation LA. I think Innovation is a company I've looked at since I was a young kid. You know, always wanted to go there, always wanted to play on one of their shows. Every time I saw the lineup, I was like, oh, wow, I wish I lived in UK, you know? So to be able to do Accelerated Presents Innovation in LA, which kind of solidified my link to go back to an innovation event. And now I'm doing two more from it. So I did Innovation LA. And from that, you know, I'm sure because I did it, and I met all the guys who run Innovation, you know, small conversation, nothing really big, but I met most of the guys. Modified Motion helps out. But there's guys above him that I met as well. And I think just meeting them, and then my name comes up for a show now. Well, they already know. You know, they know that I smashed it out in LA, so it helps to further go now on innovation events. And with innovation events now, there's, you know, breaking science. There's all these really big names out there that kind of are like at par with innovation. So doing these innovation events could really help me getting into other bigger events that I've always wanted to do. So yeah, 2018, I'm going to say, dropping my first music video and doing the innovation in LA. And you know, it's crazy because a lot of the biggest things I do sometimes are outside of the city, unfortunately. You know, I'm really, 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 really excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow is something that you know, they've given me a chance to be the host of the night, like, you know, like A2 or Traj or JD or Caddy. Usually you see, you know, more than one MC or none. And I'm on there hosting for the night. So I'm really excited because it's Aries as well. Quick story about Aries. I met Aries out in Belgium when I was doing my tours. Mm-hmm. I met him with AMC in the back of the VIP of one of the shows we did. And, you know, it was really, really cool talking to Aries at that time, you know, talking about Toronto, the scene. You know, it's funny that I said this. I was like, you know what? Next time you come, I really hope I can host for you. You know, it'd be really good, man, because we smashed it. You know, we did a really good set. And it's funny, I messaged him yesterday, be like, hey, man, don't know if you remember me, but, you know, da-da-da-da-da, Belgium, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, mate, I remember that night. That was fun. He remembers, because now, then the next message was like, I can't wait to see you tomorrow because, you know, I'll be the host for the night. Oh, yeah, mate, big ups, you know. So it was good to know that he remembers that because that was a I remember coming home and telling that story to everyone. And there was him and AMC. And AMC, we both, like I MC'd for both of them, both sets. They both loved it. They were, you know, they thought it was us. And a guy from Canada was out. That's another thing too. A lot of people don't really know that we have MCs or like we have a big scene at all. Only the people that have been raving for like 20 years kind of know that. Do you know what I mean? Like it's funny when I meet people.
That's sad. That's really sad. Toronto was once the motherland of drum and bass, and now people don't even know we have a scene.
Well, that's what I mean. There's people responding on the car bars like, holy shit, I didn't even know Canada had MCs. There's drum and bass over there. You know, like...
Well, but hold on. And you know what I would say to that? Prophecy. And even Fearless, who I had on the show.
No, or Marcus. You could say Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus Visionary, capital J. You know, come on.
When I used to go on tour, they'd be like, people I meet who like, kind of know drum and bass, they'd be like, oh, do you know Marcus Visionary? It's the number one DJ that people know about out there, right? So
he's
this
huge.
Was going on.
Visionary's got all kinds of stuff.
This was going back 5 years, though, right?
Sure.
I'm curious to see, you know, hear who they're talking about now, because I find in the last 5 years, Canada's really picked up on artists.
Definitely.
People that are promoting themselves.
Well, especially your crew, like your little group there, where you've got you brought
out. I push them. I push these guys. I push these guys to do it. I'm like, listen, you got to do this, you got to do that, do this and do that. You don't have to do it. I'm just suggesting it, you know. And it's like I kind of curate sometimes with some of the guys, you know, and tell them what to do. One person who's been doing very well in what I've kind of given some advice to is Phrase. Phrase is just, you know, his promotion game is on point. His humbleness is at the 100% level, and he's like me, just push for everything.
You talking about DJ Phrase?
DJ Phrase, yeah.
Yeah, I know who you're talking
really, really improved the last year.
Well, he's a great human being too. He's an awesome guy.
Well, right, yeah, and you know, Brockout's improving on his music, so you hear Brockout's music getting way better and better. Like every year, it just gets better. Trupa is getting way better on his mixes. Like he's bringing different mixes in all the time, and that's what I like about Trupa. You're not going to hear the same mix all the time. You're going to hear it always different, and that's
he's fun to listen to too. I just like watching him because you can tell he's having a good time.
He's really animated, animated, and really. And then you have Chill Will, who is, you know, he's I think out of all the guys, he's the newest DJ to DJing, but even then, in when I first met him to now, he's gotten astronomically better. And not only that, you know, you see him doing hell of a lot more local shows where they're getting them to open up or close, and that's the best way to get your foot in with some of the people throwing events. Is they need someone to open, take it. You know what I mean? I think the problem with Toronto is some people, they'll get a big booking and they think that's all they can get now and that's all they deserve, and they don't want to take anything smaller or do a free show or open. No, I can't open. I did the 12 o'clock set last week. Why would I open? Well, this is where I think we have a problem in the scene where people, they get one-track minded and they think they can be millionaires from drum and bass or something. I don't know what they're thinking, but I find the best way to go about music and drum and bass is treat it like a job. If you're someone who doesn't treat your music like a job, then your music's going to show, and what you get from it's going to show. I've noticed that the people who act like they're at work, like if Mr. Brown books me, that's my boss for the night. That's not my friend right now. That's my boss. I got to do what he says. I'm going to make sure he's happy because he's my boss. And that's the mentality. I bring my mentality at work into drum and bass, and I also bring my mentality of playing on a sports team to drum and bass. I think a lot of guys need to come together more. See how we've come together? DMB, we've come together and we've created something, and we're involving everybody. That's the one thing about us too. If you haven't been called yet, you will be. You know what I mean? If you're a DJ that's active in the scene, killing it right now, eventually you will be called. That's just how we're doing it, right? So I think the more we come together, the more we push. Like, even I'll push for an event that I'm not on, just to push it, just to get it out there, let people know, let the Toronto ravers know what's going on, because sometimes not everybody sees. Algorithms in Facebook are crazy right now. So with more money being added into Facebook, it's very hard to get organic reaches nowadays. So this is why sharing and helping each other out is the only way, I feel, that we're ever going to grow to a point where we can be that second, best place for drum and bass again. I think recently, I'm not saying it's just me, and I would never say that, but I think recently what I'm doing is good for the scene here, because people are really seeing, okay, I'm Canadian, I'm Toronto, and that we're trying to do the same thing. We're not just another scene doing music. We're trying to push it, and the advice I have for anybody out there, if you're a DJ or an MC, make music videos, push yourself to the fullest, and never hold anything back. And like I said, work with everyone. I made a post the other day, maybe it was the other month. Come out of your comfort zone. Work with people you never thought you could work with. Do things you never thought you could do. Take challenges. Be positive. Bring unity. All that stuff. And then picture said, may you go from overlooked to overbooked. And I got a really good response on that. And I think the reason why I said it is just like how I'm saying it now. It's not trying to tell people what to do. I'm just giving advice out to some people who are trying to get into the scene again, or trying to release music now, and they don't really know what to do. You just got to keep at it. It's drum and bass is really hard to get known in and to get any fame in, really. So if you're not taking it as a hobby first, I think that's when people in Canada have a problem with it. If you're in an area where drum and bass is thriving, and there's many, many people listening to it, and lots of fans, lots of big shows, then maybe you might be able to try and take it as a career thing. But I think if you focus on it for the love, the music really shows out, and then the money will come. But I want to sum up what you're saying there, because I think I get what you're saying, which is you got to check your primary incentive. If your primary incentive is flawed and you're pursuing money, then it's not going to be good music. But if you're making music because you want to make good music, you'll make good money as a result. And I think that's a great place to be at. But I want to sum this up, because I know you said you didn't have much time, and I want to have one last question for you. It's a fun one, so I hope you'll dive in. If you could create a Mount Rushmore for jungle music, who would your four faces be? Oh, wow.
Your jungle music Mount Rushmore.
I'm putting Nikki Black Market out there.
Number one, Nikki.
Nikki Black Market, I remember, like I said, I think I told you this on the other interview, that I was given a tape of Nikki Black Market and Hyper D, and that tape changed my life. Like, I wouldn't be here today, I don't think, if it wasn't for that tape. So 100% I'm going to say Nikki Black Market. The next one? Jeez. I would say possibly someone like Kenny Ken. Kenny Ken for sure.
So we got Nikki, and we got someone like Kenny. Not necessarily Kenny,
no,
but someone kind of like him.
Kenny Ken, obviously. Kenny Ken, I'm just saying someone in that category, right? Like Tyler Cloud.
I like the picture, though. It's like just a changing face that slowly someone like Kenny.
Changing face, someone who kind of looks like him. Yeah. So I would have Nikki Black Market, Kenny Ken. I would put Hyper D up there.
Damn right you would.
I would put Hyper D right after that, and he would represent the MCs. And then someone else, I would think Randall.
You say that as you're asking me. Is it a question, or do you?
Randall, yeah.
We got someone like Kenny and Randall.
Randall. Yeah, it's funny when you don't know how to answer question.
I
Yeah,
love
that's
it.
cool,
I
man.
love it,
Sounds
though.
good.
No, it's because you
That's
don't
the
want to
point,
leave
though, right?
someone out. I think is what it is. You don't want to leave anyone out. There's so many names you could say. And in all honesty, the question isn't really for a true answer. It's more to start a dialogue and just get people to start thinking, right?
Exactly.
And people will say that. They'll go, well, what? Is that supposed to be like the 4 most outstanding members of drum and bass? And I'm like, is Mount Rushmore the 4 most outstanding faces of the United States of America? Like,
No.
in all honesty, and they're like, well, is it the founders? No, it's not the founders. The founders were the founding fathers, like Thomas Jefferson and Benjamin Franklin. They're not on Mount Rushmore. Mount Rushmore's presidents. So it would be great leaders. And in that case, what I look to is you could have a Mount Rushmore for emceeing, you could have a Mount Rushmore for production, you could have a Mount Rushmore for DJing. And I think that it would all be different, and they would all be 4 great faces. I myself, and I've said this before, I pick telepathy. So I pick Andy C., Det, Stevie, and Skibba. That's my 4 faces. And
there you go.
that's because I come from an MC background, and but when other guys start dropping like Randall, GQ, Dillinger, Groove Rider, I'm totally with them 100%, man. I think those are all great names. And your 4, Nikki, Kenny, Stevie, and Randall, we're also all good. So I think that's great. And honestly, Zach, I want to talk to you a little bit more. So stay on the phone with me, but I'm going to sign off to the listeners, okay? Okay. That was him, guys. He's got so many moves this year, so many from last year moving into this year, and I'm sure it's going to keep going into 2020. So check him out. He's got a page. Do you other than your Facebook page, buddy? Is there anywhere else people should be following you?
You can follow me on my fan page on Facebook, which is MC, like MC and then ZEE.
I'll have the link
you
to
can
that.
follow me. You can follow me on Instagram. Same name as my Facebook personal page, EMCEE-ZEE.
Gotcha.
So you should be able to find me on Instagram, and I really don't. You can find me on Twitter too with the same EMCEE-ZEE. I don't really follow Twitter, but I do post through it because I have it connected to my fan page. So if people are on Twitter, they can obviously see what I'm doing through my fan page.
And remember, you don't follow Twitter. Twitter follows you. That's the way Twitter works.
Yeah, that's right.
And
That's
as
right.
I was saying, guys, as always, thanks for tuning in. Till next time, peace out.